Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and let's talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Yeah, that's right. I finished watching Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Actually, surprisingly, it was shorter than I thought. I really thought I had a lot more episodes to watch, but it was really a relatively short series. Kind of an anticlimactic series, if you ask me. I mean, that's just my opinion. From watching what I know and seeing everything that I saw, I'm like, oh, okay, it was shorter than I thought, and I have thoughts, and I will let you know that before anything starts, that I'm not a fan of Cyberpunk like that, and I'm definitely not a fan of CD Projekt Red, and I'm not a fan of Cyberpunk 2077. So just know that what I'm saying is, if I review anything and it sounds like I'm coming off hateful or anything, I'm not really coming off hateful or anything. It's just things that I saw in the series that I didn't really like, or the fact that I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've watched Cyberpunk influenced shows before, and that's really cool or whatever, but I'm not really a cyberpunk kind of I guess you would say a cyberpunk fan, sort of. I know it was created by what was that? It was a black guy, I believe. I'm not for sure what his name is, but I've watched shows before, and I've never really been a fan of cybernetically enhancing a human, if that makes sense, and in the style of cyberpunk, if that makes sense. I don't want the world to ever get like that, honestly. I know some people think it's really cool to get cybernetic implants, but I think cybernetic implants should be only if you're replacing parts of your body that really isn't functional to enhance what you lost or what you don't have. You know what I mean? But as far as like cutting off perfectly good arms and legs and chest or eyes to put in something cybernetic, is just no way, Jose, because all that stuff can easily get destroyed, But I will say, I am glad that the show is out, because it got people into Cyberpunk 2077 after CD Projekt Red kind of screwed it up. If any of you guys know, Cyberpunk 2077 was a game that was very hyped up, and they used Keanu Reeves as a selling point to get people to buy the game. Well, the game came out December the 10th, and it was a complete disaster. But I heard that over time they done fixed it. They made it where it's playable. It's really fun. So that's great. That's great for people who want it. I don't know if I'll ever try the game, and I'm not knocking anybody who likes it. I'm just saying. But anyway, Cyberpunk Edgerunner starts in the city of Night City. It's a post-apocalyptic, futuristic city that is like the setting of Cyberpunk 2077, and just this cyberpunk world that we're living in right now. I don't know if that's always been the case in the beginning of Cyberpunk. Again, I don't really know much about Cyberpunk, so do not come at me about, oh, I missed this or that, because I don't really know that much. I'm just reviewing from what I'm seeing right now, and I want to make sure I get all my thoughts out before I forget what I've watched. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Night City. I mean, the show stars a young man called David Martinez after he lost his mom to crimes that was happening in the city of Night City. When he went to a prestigious academy, she sacrificed so much so he can go to this prestigious academy, so he can be, work work high in the city so he doesn't have to live in the conditions that they're living in right now. Well, of course, because crime is so high in Night City, that she became an innocent bystander, and because her job didn't offer good enough insurance, it kind of left her dead, you know what I'm saying, and kind of left all of this on David. David gets kicked out of his prestigious school, and he decides to join. He decides to get this Militech technology on his body that enhances the person's a person's body or whatever and stuff like that. And he decided to join this organization called the Edgerunners, where his mom was actually, selling some tech to make up for all of the money that she needed so she can keep her son in this school, because, since he came from a poor family, of course, being bullied, and after the loss of his mother, he decides that he's going to do something different, and he decides to become an outlaw edge runner. Now, I understand that some people like, oh my God, that's really cool or whatever, but for me, I think it's kind of dumb. I'd rather him have what I would have rather him do. I would have rather him use the technology to either take down the organization, or to figure out the mystery of why they want him. Kind of work smartly. Well, like I don't know, return back to the school, because they did offer him a chance to go back to school, have a different life or whatever, but at the same time, like, jump some years into the future where he's, he worked his way up or whatever, and he finally got up there living the life that she wants, until the edge runners come for the technology that he has, and that kind of leads him down more of a mysterious path that he's trying to figure out what's going on. That would have been more interesting than the whole, oh, let's go the route of a criminal. You get what I'm saying? Like, I understand that's how it works with the show. I mean, not with the show, but I guess that's how it works with the show. Not the show, but within the walls of Edge City, I guess everybody becomes a hero. A villain or whatever, because there's so much crime, and you got these edge runners. They work for these big corporations, Militech, and other big city corporations in there, and they all fight for control or whatever. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of unnecessary. I don't know. I guess I was expecting David to kind of do something different, and he kind of went the route that I kind of figured he would go, which that leads to nothing good down the road anyway. Especially when we did a little bit of the time skip after he lost some of the crew members from Edge Runner, because one of the leader of the Edge group, when he was with them, he lost his mind to psychosis. So if any of you guys don't know, the psychosis thing is putting a lot of cybernetics in your body, that eventually you start kind of losing your body, your mind and soul, because even though they claim it's integrated in there, no, it's not as integrated as it can be. I believe his name was Falco. He was like the leader of the group or whatever, and then he kind of lost his mind, and kind of went on a little killing rage or whatever, and that kind of changed David. We kind of jump a little bit. We did like a time jump a little bit, and now he's like a big man, and he's gotten more cybernetic implants on his body, which I was hoping he wouldn't, because it seemed like the only cybernetic enhancement that he was going to have is on his back, when he put the Militech hybrid thing on his back, on his spinal cord or whatever. That was fine, but I don't know, especially if you got to keep medication to keep yourself from going psychosis or whatever, then how are you going to convince people that getting enhanced is a good thing? I don't want to be a person that has to rely on medication to keep my sanity, or because honestly, you have to think about it. Foreign things inside your body tends to fight it off, and if you got to have medication to keep it going or whatever, are you really, you know what I mean? But hey, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Basically, they kind of do all these different jobs, and of course, we all know that it leads to betrayal. But I will say his relationship with Lucy, who is the main female character in the show, she's really cool. Rebecca needs Jesus, of course, because she crazy. I mean, if you guys seen Rebecca, the girl needs Jesus, because she will pistol whip a motherfucker for real. I know this review is kind of everywhere, but I know people were asking me what my thoughts and feelings are on Edgerunner. I think it's a good series. I am upset at the lack of them not going different with the story, because I feel like in Cyberpunk 2077, that's what you're playing in anyway, as an outlaw anyway. But I understand they did talk about edge runners before in the video game, so I guess it makes sense to take the story to the point of view of an edge runner. It's just kind of sad that this good kid, got caught up in the system, if that makes sense, a system of poverty and crime or whatever, especially when his mom was working so hard to make sure that he could have the best life ever, and then he kind of throws it away because he needs money, and the fastest way of getting money is crime or whatever. And I really kind of wish he didn't fall deep into it, like learn from what his big brother did and kind of change his life around, just kind of like how Lucy wanted him to change and didn't want him to fall down the same path that his big bro kind of fell through. But at the end of the day, Militech wanted that technology, and big corporations wanted it, and they wanted to see how much he could handle from the psychosis of the cybernetics. And David pushed himself so far, and at the end of the day, it cost him and most of everybody on his crew their lives, except for Lucy and the driver. I forgot his name. What's his name? I think it's Faraday, I believe. Yeah, Faraday. So Faraday and Lucy, they survive, and she decides to use a lot of the money that they all gathered and take a trip to the moon. Something that she and David promised. Apparently, in the future you can visit the moon, and she finally did. And that's kind of how the story kind of ends with her going to the moon, kind of seeing the spirit of David, and kind of smiling, knowing that at least one of them, at least they were able to achieve their dream together, even if he's not around. So what do I think? I think it's a good anime. I'm glad that it got people talking about Cyberpunk, and I'm glad that it helped CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077. I did hear that there's not going to be a season 2, but if you ask me, it was an open-ended story anyway. You could do more with it, but at the same time, you really don't need to. It did its job. Its job was to promote Cyberpunk. Its job was to promote Cyberpunk 2077 and help CD Projekt Red, and I think it did a good job, because I believe that Cyberpunk 2077 is greenlit for a sequel. So I guess you'll see more of it, I guess you'll see more of this city more, or however, I don't know how. I guess you'll see more of Night City eventually. Who knows? Maybe you might go outside of Night City for the sequel. You just never know. But I think that was really cool. I don't like the fact that they kind of made the main character go with the flow of being a criminal. I'd rather them have did some kind of Robin Hood kind of thing. At least if they were saving lives, stopping these corporations or whatever, that could have really been really cool. Because at least if David died, at least it was dying, saving people's lives. Taking a final stand, saving people's lives from all the torture that these corrupt criminals and corrupt businesses has done. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a prune on it, but I thought it was excessive. I thought the excessive goreness of people's heads exploding was just a little too much. I was like, all right, I'm getting about sick of this at this point. That's just my personal opinion. Not saying that it shouldn't have been in the show. I just thought that they kind of went too far a little bit. Like, all right, we get it. People dying really quick, but you ain't gotta keep showing how they die and showing body parts everywhere. Like, control yourself. But I mean, I don't really have much to really say. I know some people want me to go into this like depth thing or whatever of nihilism, criminality, social economics. Where you're born from determines where you're at, which that's not true, because I would have preferred David showing his mom that he can do it. I know some people are like, oh, but that's not his dream, that's his mom's dream. But if your mom sacrificed everything for you to have a better life, wouldn't you at least want to try? I mean, we all want to try it. I think that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us want a better lives than our parents, and I wouldn't want to fall into crime in order to achieve that, because it's so easy to fall into that. But it's more acknowledgeable if you can go down the path that is the hard path and coming out on the other side stronger than ever before, if that makes sense. I know I'm not really that great with reviewing this kind of stuff because I'm not really familiar with Cyberpunk 2077 or Cyberpunk in general, so I can't really give you an in-depth thing. But I just wanted to talk about this show. There is, I don't know if, I think I did spoil the ending of this show, but if you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's 10 episodes. They're like 23 minutes a piece, so you guys should watch it. And I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I do like some of the designs. I'm not gonna lie. I think Lucy has like probably the best design out of everyone. I do like David's jacket. I think that's really, really cool or whatever and stuff like that. I am a sucker for a good neon light, honestly. But other than that, I recommend you watch this show. Check it out and tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.